Hello, and welcome to the legitimate episode 75 of the Player 3 podcast. Larry, celebrate.
The quarter quell. Yay.
Yes, the Quizmondolo. What was the word you wrote it down on?
Quattroleptophene.
Quattroleptophene. Welcome to the Quattroleptophene episode of the Player 3 podcast. I'm your host, Luke Croft, and joining me today, we have the always visually stunning Larry Hunt.
Hi.
You came in with my home today with such energy, and I was not having the energy. Now I have the energy, and I need you to continue to bring the energy.
I'll bring it.
Because we also have the author and perfecter of momentum and energy, ladies and gentlemen, Benjamin D. Hankins.
My name is Sir Isaac Newton.
Yes.
He did energy, right? Who did the...
Yeah, Newtonian physics, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
There was no energy before Sir Isaac Newton
He
introduced
made sure.
it into the world.
Kinetic energy. Who's for that?
Huh? You're getting out of the realm here. But
A body in motion must stay in motion.
But you are correct that Newton invented gravity. As he was sitting under an apple tree, and he was like, why does everything I love float away? So he bound it to the earth.
And why would I smash myself if I die?
Exactly. And we are the Player 3 podcast. We get together every Monday to talk about video games, and we push it out to you over on youtube.com/player3podcast, on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher. Leave us a review, boys and girls, because Ben is here.
Do
today.
it!
Ben is here because Diz is dead. He got into a little bit of spoiled raccoon meat up when he was visiting his family for his mom's famous roasted raccoon.
She ran out of the Eggos, so they had to break out the raccoon meat.
That's right.
They keep it stored in the cellar. Normally you can smell it. It's a natural air freshener in West Virginia.
Spoiled raccoon will do that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just kill you fast.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we got to go out to the grocery store and get some meat, and they just walk out to their garbage can.
They'll give you the
And
Rhea.
there's a raccoon.
Gives you the Rhea.
So anyway, Diz basically pooped himself to death. That's the moral of this story. And how are the rest of you guys doing?
I did not Rhea to death, so I guess I'm
Rhea to
good.
death, yeah.
I'm alive.
Any day that you don't poop your pants to the point of dying, I guess, would be chalked up to a good day. Count your many blessings, you know?
Name them one by one.
Like, just know that somebody had it worse, and Diz was that person.
He Rhea'd all over himself till he died of a horrible, painful death.
Luckily, they
Insides.
didn't have to buy a vault because it all just solidified around him.
It was just
He
liquid.
was encased in a sarcophagus of his own Rhea.
It's almost like he Rhea'd out a placenta that then encapsulated his body and decomposed it to a form to where you just kind of buried him in a hefty.
I believe. I believe the phrase is, "From dust he was made, to dust he returned." Right?
To liquid he returned. Rhea.
Exactly.
This is by far the worst podcast opening we've ever had.
No.
Including all the times we had to start over.
No, this is up there. This is one of the better ones.
You just seep into the ground. How much more money could you save, vaultless, Rhea'ing yourself to death? Because you already died.
I love how you're confidently saying Rhea'ing yourself as if it's some sort of like accepted scientific term for just sharding yourself to death.
Well, you can say diarrhea, but you can't add to death at the end because the die is at the beginning of Rhea.
All right.
Fertilizes the ground, flowers grow over your body. It's great.
This is going to be the entire episode, boys and girls. This is because we've given Ben not only a microphone standing off camera, but we've placed him back on camera.
Yep. I'm excited.
And we're all of 4 minutes in, and this train is completely off the rails and in the bottom of a river somewhere.
Just swimming in the Rhea.
And Larry is trying to find pockets of air to stay alive. All right, let's get this week started like we get every week started with the releases of the week.
Releases of the week. Clap, clap.
All right. Big release this week is Mirror's Edge Catalyst from EA Dice, published by Electronic Arts, starring Faith Connors. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. You hit the nail right on the head.
Larry,
There's another Connor, though. Who's the other Connor?
Sarah Connor
Yeah.
from Terminator.
John
There's another
Connor.
Was there Connor in Assassin's Creed? Moving on, Larry.
Yes.
Larry, have you been keeping up at all with reviews or anything? Have you been with reaction?
No, when they delayed it, you may remember I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to have time till 2 weeks after the game's out to play it. So that kind of, I was just like, I'll see how things go once it comes out.
I haven't seen a lot of reaction. The little reaction I have seen, disappointment. So, hate to break that to you.
Well,
but you kind of march to the beat of your own drum anyway.
it's true.
You'll probably play it and think it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like Homefront the Revolution did, and he played it. He thought it was
that
awesome.
game was great.
And then I got it, and it was literally a hot, steaming pile of garbage.
I have video of all of us agreeing that the beta of Homefront was a lot of fun. So
Okay, that's not even remotely
Not
true.
all of us, 'cause I wasn't in
play the
that.
Homefront beta.
Me either.
All right, so that's the biggest release coming out this week. There was no drop this week from PlayStation for some reason. Maybe there's nothing coming out on the PlayStation, not even Mirror's Edge.
well, they really dropped the ball.
Puns.
Oh
Rhea.
man. Okay. All right. And
So I don't
and
need
we're
to know-
canceled. All
I
right.
don't need to know anything about the original Mirror's Edge to like this game, right?
No, it is a reboot, even though they keep saying it's not really a reboot.
Okay.
It's like I
There's
don't
no
understand.
extra story or anything that would make me need to
No.
know what happened then.
No.
Okay. Okay. Sweet.
Have you ever seen an individual run?
Yes.
You've got plenty of backstory to play Mirror's Edge.
Awesome.
That's what it's all about. It's
a
about
free
running.
run. I love the free run myself. I walk on airplanes a lot.
Interesting. All right. Those are your releases of the week.
Releases of the week. Clap, clap.
Now, when you say on airplanes, do you mean on top of the outside of an
Yeah,
airplane?
it's like walk-ons, like appointments. You know, you have walk-in appointments. You just walk on the airplane.
I don't think you can have a walk-in appointment for an airplane.
Sure,
I think
you can.
I think that's classified as terrorism
You
these
don't get to
days.
stay that long. You bring these guys.
Until this one guy, he's dressed like a civilian, but he's allowed to have a handgun on a plane for some reason.
Yeah.
And
Takes you out.
And a taser, you find out.
Yeah. Do you think he tases first, then shoots you, or shoots you then as you're writhing in pain? He's like, I'll help, and then tases you.
He shoots you, then tries to like hit the bullet hole with the needle of the taser.
Oh gosh, we're getting straight to the source here. Tasing the soul.
Nah, that's too much. I don't want to go that far. Discernment.
That's what the D stands for this week. All right, let's move on to our latest segment, topics.
Topics. Yeah, we got some topics for you.
All right, Ben. We had a powwow when you weren't here, and we have to have an intervention here, Larry.
It's not topics anymore?
No.
Larry, I'll start. Ben, we love you,
Yes.
okay, and we care about you. We care about
me too.
we care about just about everything about you. There are some things we don't particularly care about.
Okay.
But the segment is called Topics
With an X.
with an X.
The X is silent.
Yes.
So
it's
optics.
pronounced Topics.
Why would the top? Why would
No.
the T not be after the
Listen.
S?
Listen.
Quiet
Here's
down,
how
sweet pet.
I have to explain the joke to you. So for the next few moments, the joke isn't funny.
Okay.
But you need to understand this as the singer of the song.
Okay.
So when we introduced Topics, Larry said with an X, and I said yes. XOPICS. And that's where the joke started. So it's still pronounced Topics. It's just spelled with an X. It's like, hey, my name is Sean, but it starts with a T. Tean. Sean. The joke makes sense. So, you want to give it another shot? We're going to move on to our latest segment. Topics.
Topics. Yeah, the X is silent. Topics for you.
Oh, man.
There's no T at the beginning.
All right, Larry, let's start over there with you, my friend. What is your topic for today?
So, for the first time in forever, we have an update for Xbox.
I forget that the Xbox has been updated at all.
It was updated like all the time at first, remember?
And do you not remember how we had that awful UI and now we have
yeah.
a slightly less awful UI?
That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, now it's about to get slightly less awfuler.
Interesting.
Not as Rhea-ish.
Okay, I don't even want to. We're gonna move on.
Go ahead. So,
All right. So the most prominent thing coming with this forthcoming update is Cortana is finally coming to the Xbox One, like they've been saying for I feel like half a year to a year
It was
now.
supposed to be a launch thing, right?
No. It was supposed to be something with the new Xbox One experience, is what I thought, and that launched in November. And they were like, it was always like, it's coming soon. And now here we are in June, months later. And look, I'm a little upset about all of this because Seth has a girlfriend now. And we were hoping that he was going to fall in love with Cortana.
Like that Her movie.
Yeah.
Look, just because he has a girlfriend doesn't mean he can't fall in love with Cortana and have a moral dilemma.
That's very true. And it's like, is it really cheating if this is artificial intelligence?
Yes.
That's what Joaquin Phoenix had us explore, man. Like is it okay?
Have a real world relationship?
No. But the whole thing was like he discovered that the artificial. I'm sorry. Spoiler alert for the movie Her. He discovers that the artificial intelligence that he has fallen in love with, everybody that uses that artificial intelligence has fallen in love with it as well because it molds itself around the personality of the user, and it becomes like endearing and charming to the people that are using it. So that's the moral dilemma: is he feels like the AI is cheating on him.
Oh.
Have you ever seen the movie?
No.
It's really good. It's really it's.
I do like Joaquin Phoenix, especially when he had that beard and stuff, and he did a lot of cocaine.
Oh yeah, when everyone thought that was a real legitimate documentary and it was just very clearly a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
And then he looked at the camera real sad and was like, "But what about the bees, man?" He was super upset. But anyway,
I feel weird that I saw any part of that documentary.
So explain to us how Cortana is an upgrade from the voice command system that we have right now.
Well, she's going to interact a little more than just putting words on your screen, I guess. I don't know. But the big thing, as far as how it's better, and we've asked for this before, so once again, I'd like to thank friend of the show, Phil Spencer, for listening to our suggestions.
Exactly.
Cortana can be engaged either through the Kinect or through the headset. You don't have to have a Kinect.
You can get engaged to her? This solves the whole moral dilemma.
There we go.
Or through the not yet announced, but will be announced at E3 according to my predictions, Xbox One controller with a built-in microphone in it, so I don't have to wear a dumb-looking headset just to use my Cortana, or an add-on thing that you can plug into the bottom.
Kinect camera if that happens.
Yeah, that's the
Xbox controller with a mic in it.
That's literally the point of the of the prediction.
Cool. That'd be great.
It's a cameraless Kinect that is either built into your controller or attaches to your controller. That's the idea.
So always on controller.
This is not a legitimate thing that's been announced. It's just something I predict will be announced. But because they really want to push Cortana as like a real reason to use the Xbox, but they also understand you can't force a bunch of people to buy the Kinect either. Yeah. So like, where's the middle ground in that you provide a microphone that isn't the chat headset? Because I don't want to wear the chat headset if I'm not playing with people.
Can you use the chat headset for voice commands?
No.
Oh, okay. I guess I thought I was missing out for a second because I've never done any kind of chat.
And you also missed out on literally the 30 seconds where Larry was explaining that.
Oh, whoops. I'm sorry.
Now with Cortana, you will be able to.
I was thinking about the radio.
Their mind is fixated on it. So what else is coming to this update, Larry?
Improvements to the game collection.
That's awesome. Hey.
Yeah, so now it kind of sucks to try to navigate all the games you have. It's going to suck a little less. You'll be able to connect your Microsoft account to your Facebook account just like you've always dreamed so that you can find Xbox friends through Facebook.
Do you ever notice on these update lists there's like the edge of the cliff where it's like, here's some really cool things, and then, all right, here's a bunch of filler crap that you really don't care about, but we need to make this post at least 800 words long so that we can reach whatever quota we've got for this. So that we're trying to meet SEO standards right here so we can rank higher on the Googles and whatnots. Mm-hmm. So they just keep packing in. You could add your Facebook account.
Look, as a student minister, the last thing I want is for Facebook friends to be able to find my gamer tag.
Yes.
As someone who is friends with a veritable cornucopia of children's and youth ministers, the last thing I want is for them to be able to find you and then be able to find me by way of you via the Xbox One. I already don't like playing with you guys. I don't think I'm gonna like playing with anyone that's in your youth group.
That we teach. Yes.
Right, I tolerate you for the sake of having 6 people in Overwatch.
I understand that entirely. And I tolerate you guys for, bless you, for the sake of having, multiple people on this podcast and it's not just me talking into a microphone.
And if not for you, who would blast straight Tequila Night into the microphone before we play Overwatch? I mean, how would I get by?
If you really want to know She comes here a lot.
Please kill me.
She loves to hear
Please.
the music and dance.
She likes my blue jean bass too.
That is an attractive suit that man
It's
has.
so good, isn't it?
It's country. I still hate
I
it.
should have worn that in my wedding.
There's no way you can hate that song.
I do.
No. You may be indifferent about it.
I hate it.
But you can't have any disdain for it because of how catchy it is. Don't ask her on a strike to keep luck night.
Also
It's all
coming
good.
with this improvement.
Is the ability to have an introduction song when you enter into the party. So whenever I come in, the Xbox automatically plays straight Tequila
It's
Night.
like batter music.
It's
All
like,
3.5 minutes.
it's like a WWE entrance, and it takes over the screen of everybody that's in it, and there's like a video paying homage to me, regardless of what you're in the middle of doing
It's
on
just-
your console at the time.
It's just you dramatically walking down the hall to your living room.
Yes.
You take a swig of Orange Crush and just spit it into the air.
That would be Ben's.
That'd be me. Gold glass bottle orange crush.
I always assume Ben has an IV of Orange Crush on him at all times.
There are like 6 glass bottles on my little stand downstairs where I just drink my orange crush.
Okay, cool. So anyway, what the last legitimate one we said was what? The Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, continue. What else can we do?
Improved sharing of clips, achievements, screenshots, and all that jazz.
Again,
That'll
more
be-
social
pretty
crap
neat.
that
I-
literally don't care about.
I'm actually excited for that. I like plastering my stuff all over social media to show everyone how great I am.
See, I always have a little bit of an existential crisis every time I say Xbox record that because I begin to think, why? And not just why did I do that, but literally why do I do anything? Why do I exist? I'm never going to watch this clip again, and I'm never going to show it to anybody. And Larry's probably the only person who goes on people's friends list and watches their game DVR.
Yeah, I totally watch all your clips you post because I'm a good friend.
Oh, no, it wasn't about a good friend. I just feel like that would be a Larry thing to do, that you like to, kill a little bit of time scrolling through people's game DVRs. But you probably like to do it to yourself.
It actually never occurred to me until last week that I could go watch other people's clips.
Back to this Cortana thing. So can I yell at the chat that said to record my my recordings during gameplay when Cortana comes?
Yes.
Okay.
Cortana, do this. Dude, how confusing is that going to be when you're playing Halo, like through the campaign? Cortana did such an... I'm sorry, you wanted me to delete your entire Halo game? No! Was that a yes? No! Yes. Game deleted.
Can they do that?
I'm sorry, did you want me to send your entire internet history to your close family?
I don't understand how this brings me up. This is not a point about Xbox updates. But it's close though with Cortana. You know the Amazon Echo thing?
That little block thing that
Yeah.
does everything that my phone does, but I have to buy a whole separate unit to do
Right.
it. Yeah.
It's like a $60 Siri,
Right.
or it's not even 60. I think it's like 80 something. Anyways, Alec Baldwin's ordering socks on this thing.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Well, how does that work? What if somebody comes in my room and's like, "Hey, order me 300 pairs of cashmere socks"? I don't know if they make those.
You better have money for 300 pairs of cashmere socks, I guess.
Yeah. You should have thought about that before you bought something that's completely and totally unnecessary.
I just feel like and I wonder if Cortana can do that. If I'm like,
Maybe that's the test for it. Maybe it's like, is this purchase more necessary than the purchase of this stupid block that he can talk to? And if it is, which is pretty much anything you can buy, then it lets it go through. So your 100 pairs of cashmere socks
are gonna come through.
it's like that's way more useful than this hunk of plastic that listens to everything I say and sends it to the U.S. government.
I guess the point I'm trying to make with this Cortana argument or the Echo argument is if it's Alexa, right?
I don't know.
I think it's Alexa. Cortana, if I go to your house and I'm like, Cortana, buy whatever, like a game that's in the digital thing, do I then have to click it to okay it, or will it just do it? Because that's an awesome prank if I'm yelling over the chat. Cortana, buy 3 copies of Overwatch.
But you're also buying them because your Cortana's hearing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess that's
there's
the
safeguard.
That makes sense.
Anyway, you can now use any editor for your game clips, which once again, Luke doesn't care, but I care because right now it's real annoying. I have to first download my clip from my Microsoft. Well, first I have to go to Upload Studio, upload my clip to a cloud, then download it from the cloud, edit it, then upload it to YouTube.
Well, you missed the very first step, is deceiving yourself into thinking that anyone cares.
It's true. I did a Halo one, and it's got a solid 30 views.
Did you make a montage?
Yeah, of me jumping backwards over people's heads and hitting them
Did
in
you
the
use
back.
the South Park song about montages behind it?
No, that's what.
That's
That would have
why it
done
didn't
it.
take
Done
off. And if you ever need to go from just a beginner to a pro, you need a montage.
Montage.
Updated game DVR management. They didn't really elaborate on that. On Windows, so Windows updates are being applied here as well, showing us the obvious direction that they are going.
Exactly.
These are
That
going to be
I-
the same
that I
thing
called.
eventually. 60 frames per second game clip recording. Share to Twitter from the Xbox app instead of just from the dashboard.
That's cool.
Top PC games show up on Xbox Live. We're bringing the top PC games like League of Legends and XCOM 2 together with the Xbox Live community, meaning your favorite PC games will have their own game hubs on Xbox Live. Whether you're on your PC, Xbox, or mobile phone, you'll be able to see what PC games your friends are playing, share your own PC gaming clips and screenshots with the community, and message your friends on Xbox Live. On both Xbox One and Windows 10 PCs, you'll also be able to party chat with your friends no matter what they're doing. Obvious first step toward the merging of these platforms.
Right. Okay. So basically, they could have written this blog and they could have said, "You ever wanted to talk to your console in a conversational tone? Here's Cortana. Hey, you want to be able to find your games without wanting to kill yourself? Here's this updated library. Hey, do you ever want to guarantee that you're gonna get blocked by all of your friends on social media? Here's the other 20 updates that are coming."
And a more personal activity feed.
Okay.
That's it.
Is there? I may be mistaken. Is this already? I don't know if this already exists on Xbox. Can you find the like when you're online and your friend gets on? Does it pop up and say so and so's online?
If they're your favorite,
Okay, never mind then.
you got to make them into favorites.
PlayStation doesn't do that. Right?
You can do that now on PlayStation
Can
as
you?
well. You have to make them
So
a favorite as
behind.
well.
I'm so behind.
Ben's like, the last console I played was the PlayStation 2. Now, one of the things I've always appreciated about the Xbox One is just how kind of meaty their updates are, and it isn't just like we're stabilizing the platform here. We're gonna undergird it with more foundation, and it legitimately isn't anything like front facing to us that makes a difference to us, except for the fact that it just doesn't crash. But like, you know, Sony updates all the time, and it's like it's a stability update. It's a stability update. When there's an Xbox update coming out, you know, like there's going to be at least something in there that makes a difference in my experience with it. And falling in love with an artificial intelligence is going to be life changing, at
Right.
least marriage changing.
Right.
So, all
Is
right,
that part of your life?
Ben.
Oh, it's me. Hey.
It's
my,
Ben.
my topic is not really like a news topic because
All right.
I don't like news.
Get out.
I'm very left-brained. Is that the people who's artsy and stuff? Artsy fartsy?
That's all just a myth.
All a myth.
Is it a myth?
Yeah.
You know what else is a myth? The chupacabra
It's ruined my life.
Also,
Snakes
the
also.
Loch Ness Monster.
and electric eels. There's no such thing.
But not the Jersey Devil.
That's a different story for a
Yeah,
different
because
day.
they're a hockey team.
Lore Podcast has convinced me that the Jersey Devil was real.
Oh, I stopped listening to the Lore podcast after I followed the guy on Twitter.
This is like a year ago.
Okay, I was like, this is a legitimately unlikable human being. I'm not listening to his podcast anymore. So,
Is that Alex, whatever?
I'm Aaron Mankey,
Yeah.
and this is another smug tweet. All right, what's your
Smugness.
topic?
All right, so my topic is more like a random question esque topic. We've been playing a lot of Overwatch lately.
No.
Lots of Overwatch because that game is great.
I've played a couple games,
The game's lots of fun. I reached 21 last night, which makes me sad about my life.
which makes your Overwatch character old enough to drink.
Yes. But in lieu of our recent Overwatch playing and interest thereof,
In lieu of? So instead of?
no,
In light of,
in light of. Whoops.
In light of?
yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's okay, man. I mean, this is only all about being able to use the English language to communicate what you're thinking.
Correct.
But I mean, you use whatever words you want over there.
in light of the Rio.
You're very ingenuitive when it comes to words.
Copy cast.
We are. I want to explore a little thing. It's a top 5 list, which is not very ingenuitive of me. But we're gonna talk about your top 5 favorite Overwatch characters because there's what 20 some 20
21.
21.
22?
21.
20-something. So I'm going to get you guys to narrow it down to your top 5 in order. It doesn't really have to be exact order, but just make sure you keep your number 1 for last.
Okay, so how are we doing this? We just going around?
Yeah, we'll just go around, and then we'll do just kind of give a short explanation of why you like each character that you like. Maybe somebody out there that hasn't played Overwatch or doesn't understand how it works exactly or just got it and wants to play it would have a little bit of a spark of inspiration to play with one of these characters.
Okay.
5, Diva. When no one else on my team wants to be a tank, she's a lot of fun to just close the distance very quickly and shotgun blast people in the face repeatedly.
And she has the most health in the game.
I did not know that.
She does. 500 in the mech and then 200 as a person.
150 as a person.
150 as a person.
And she gets her mech back pretty fast if you don't kill her. Lots of teams make that mistake. They don't hunt down. They're like, she's not a threat anymore. Well, kill that woman.
Yeah.
Kill her.
Whoa. Out of context quotes. We're going to pull that clip out.
Okay.
Who's your 5th?
My 5th is... I got to pull my list up to tell you what my...
Oh, my gosh. It's my topic, and I
forgot.
have no idea.
My 5th is Widowmaker. Because
Mine as well, so I'll join with you in this conversation.
I'm not really great with Widowmaker. But I like her because she's very... I wouldn't consider myself a great FPS sniper. I've never been really good. I mean, I'm okay, but I never have been like the go-to sniper guy. But she's on defense. She's real awesome because I don't have to be great at sniping. I can kind of just jump down and use her little automatic gun to make it okay that I suck at sniping.
And she's got that awesome grappling hook that allows you to get to high places. And it really is like a legitimate kind of accessible way of sniping in a game that you may not necessarily be the best at, even if you're not like the best sniper in the world. Mm-hmm. And then her ultimate is just so useful. I've got you in my no, that's Soldier 76.
Soldier 76. Her,
no one can hide.
Infrared, yeah.
Yeah. So the infrared thing
it helps everybody.
Helps everybody out.
Very team oriented.
And it really, well, I'll get to that when I get to my top answer. So yes. So my number 5 is Widowmaker. My number 4, because you want to do this.
Yeah, we'll just go back. And
my number 4 is Lucio. I believe that's how you.
Yes.
Lucio.
Luchador.
He's fast. He's the guy I go to if I'm playing with randoms and we don't have a healer because it's AoE healing. Like you don't have to actively be doing it. He's still semi-offensive, and that whole speed boost thing's a lot of fun as well.
Mm-hmm. Especially getting to points.
And he has dreads. So
when he drops a speed boost when I'm playing Tracer, it is exhilarating.
it is sickening. I legitimately throw up.
My number 4 is Genji. I like Genji a lot, but I'm not very. I'm getting less good with him. I've started. I mean, he's very much a flanking character. He's got a lot of speed. He's got some ability to like. He's got like a little dash attack that he can use. It's not as much as Tracer's dash stuff, but it actually does damage when he dashes, which is pretty cool. He's got this little like he blocks projectiles with a sword, which is real awesome and really easy to kill Bastions with because they're stupid.
You just gotta stop shooting. You just have to stop shooting.
But I'm not. It was gonna be higher on this list, but I've gotten to where I'm not as good with him anymore because he throws throwing stars and he's like if you're not real accurate, then you have a hard time hitting people with him. But I still enjoy playing with him, so he's my number 4.
I believe they're called ninja stars
Or shurikens. Shurikens.
Number 4 for me is McCree. I like cowboys. He's a cowboy. And really, he wasn't in my top 5 until the other night. I was playing a team of people that 3 of them ran Reinhardt and stood on top of the payload, forming this triangle of shields around the payload. And we couldn't do anything until the very end. I got McCree and started just rolling in the middle of them and chucking that stun thing, flashbang grenade, and then our team would just mop them up.
Those drops are sealed, right?
Yeah. And then I realized, because he can't do anything but stand there for a couple seconds. And it's just so useful. Tracer's running around, just kill her real quick. Anyone. It's so fun.
Mm-hmm. If someone's fan hammer.
Yeah. If someone's annoying, I just switch to McCree and start flashbanging them and fan hammer into their face.
Sweet.
All right, number 3, Larry.
Oh, yeah. 3 would be... There was Diva. There was McCree. Who was my number 3? Oh, Widowmaker. So, same thing. I'm pretty good at sniping, so it's fun. I just like shooting people in the face. It's good. And that little poisonous spider bomb is that's pretty useful too. It
is.
It rarely kills anybody, but
it reminds me of you ever played Call of Duty World at War?
Yeah.
The bouncing betties when you set those up,
Yes.
and you would hide, and it may not always kill somebody, but you would put it there, and if somebody came through, it would like blow them up.
And there was this awesome animation where your leg would fall off, or both your legs would
Gift
fall
factory.
off.
Yep.
Yeah, and that spider bomb is typically, I usually use it just to, I know somebody's about to come up behind me. I'll put it somewhere where, like, the main line of access. All right, someone's coming from the stairs, so I'll turn around and get ready to fight them.
That's what I was meaning. Like, it's just kind of a first
Yeah.
a notification system, whatever you want to say.
And you got to have someone on your team who's able and willing to take down turrets. And she's a good one for that. Fair is good for that. Really, they're the best in my opinion. I don't know who else I would put on that. Maybe Soldier 76, but not very well.
Fair just with those rockets, man, just can handle some turrets.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Reaper, if he can get next to him, and then he can get in front of him with his little shadow thing and do some real damage to him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a good transition. My number 3 is actually Reaper. I didn't really play Reaper at all to start the when we actually started playing, because I felt like he was real cheesy and everybody always used him, and I hated that die thing he does where he spins around in circles and does crazy stuff. But I played with him the other night, and just because I got this real cool skin for him, because I was like, well, if I got this really awesome skin, I might as well try him out. And I am really good with Reaper, I feel like. Maybe it's because he's cheesy. I don't know. I don't know what his difficulty is as a character. Like they rate the difficulty on the characters, and I'm not sure what his is. But I feel like I'm really awesome with him, and he has a lot of utility as far like not so much team utility, but he has a lot of individual utility. Like you have a lot of ways to escape with him. There's a lot of ways to get places where a lot of your team can't get with his little like shadow step thing that he does.
He's a pretty reliable tank killer too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he murders tanks. He's a really good counter to them, and he just does a lot of damage. He's just, if you're looking for somebody who you need a damage boost on your team, he's a good guy to try.
My number 3 would be Roadhog. We don't have a lot of guys on our team that like to play as tanks, and so I just picked one until my brother bought the game. And Roadhog's just fun. He's got that hook that he throws into people. He can heal himself, and being a tank, you have a lot of time to be aware that I need to step out and heal. And he does pretty decent damage mid range and really good damage close up. So, and he's got that cool "I'm the one man apocalypse."
And that hook, man, I hate that hook. Like playing against him. When I'm running someone like Tracer or Widowmaker or a healer, if he can just yank you out of the pack and do his thing, you're done.
Well, it's crazy the distance it gets too. It's really long range.
Yeah.
With Widowmaker, I get yanked out of my sniper perch a lot by guys who run Roadhog.
And my number 2 would be Hanzo. It's weird. I feel like Hanzo is one of the more popular characters, but I feel like I'm the only one in our group that plays as him.
I can't. I suck. I've tried. So I want to be good with Hanzo, but I'm not.
I only like playing with him if I'm on a defending team, because you can perch up and just kind of get people as they come through. And I can't play really well with him offensively, but it's the most satisfying thing when you headshot people, like, because you kind of have to calculate the drop of your arrow and all that sort of stuff based on the distance. And his ultimate is just terrifying.
I would argue it is the single most terrifying ultimate. Like anytime you hear him, you're or whatever. That's probably not the words.
No, it's not at all.
Everyone on the team starts going, "Dragon, watch out! Here comes the dragon!"
Or wolves. He has wolves too now. They replace him with wolves when he wears his little wolf thing.
Cool.
Yeah. He's got some really cool alternate skins. So.
Yeah.
Funny side note: Genji can actually block his dragons.
Yeah, you have to block
them
the arrow
to
right?
him. Yep, reverse them back to him. My number 2 is Reinhardt. Again, kind of similar reasons to Luke. Not a lot of people like to play tanks in our circle of friends. So I figured at the first night we started playing, I figured he's got a big shield. He's a big dude. He may seem like a pretty good learning curve to get around in order to find a character I like to play with. And he just kind of stuck. He's got a lot of utility. Again, he got a lot of utility. That's the kind of the running theme with my team minus Reaper is the utility that they bring. The shielding's awesome, especially for what is it called where you're chasing the car that moves? Payload. Yeah. You can just sit on that thing and just tank for everybody else. He is offensive, but I don't use him very offensive. I mean, if you get really good with him, you can use him really offensively, I feel like, but he's more of kind of a sit back and wait for your time kind of guy. you're getting kind of bum rushed by the entire team, you can drop that hammer ultimate that he has and just stun everybody and let your team sweep up, that kind of thing.
He's very much a team player. Like that shield, that massive shield. If your team is smart and they stack up behind you, you guys can just roll through and do some damage.
Because you can shoot through the shield.
Yeah.
If you're on the backside. So that's.
But we watched a guy earlier try to run him offensively on Twitch, and it just did not work out because he does a lot of damage, but he's also big and slow. And if you get the right characters that can just flank, even get through his shield, like it's just he's done. You got to have somebody with him to be okay. My number 2 is Mei. Mei is Bay. I don't get the highest kills with Mei, but just the trolling that can be done.
I was gonna say that was the exact word I was gonna use.
There's so much troll.
She is the troll of the group.
Every time I'm playing defense, I go to Mei, and the first thing I do is put an ice wall in front of your main entrance as it opens up and the game starts, and you have to go out the side. Or on the Temple of Anubis, most people don't realize there's a front side to that building, so they just sit in the building waiting. And one game we played, I literally wasted a minute and a half before the team even really started to be able to fight us because I just ice walled them at every choke point along the way. It was glorious.
That's what she's great for. She's just so great for it.
And her ultimate's awesome.
Yeah. And it's really undervalued by some people, but her icicle gun, like it's got mad range. You can snipe with that thing.
Too.
Yeah. So she's a character that when I first I tried everybody out in the beta, and I'm like, this thing's worthless. I hate Mei. And then we played a match on that England map, and we saw somebody actually who knew how to roll Mei, and I was like, whoa, that person's my hero now.
That person was like dropping, like putting them putting the walls under Bastion and getting them up in the air so we could kill them and crazy stuff.
The guy was sick. That's who I aspire to be.
You're getting pretty good at that.
We had some great. Her ultimate combined with other people's ultimate, like freezing them, and then Luke raining justice from above, and it was beautiful.
Team, I love team games. Yeah. All right, number 1.
Oh, number 1, Tracer. I tried really hard not to like Tracer because I was being a hipster, and I'm like, well, everybody else is going to like Tracer, so I don't want to play Tracer. But teleporting's like my favorite thing. I love time travel stuff, and I like happy-go-lucky, carefree characters. Tracer was made for me. It was glorious.
It's hard to be good at Tracer because you really have to time your stuff out right, and I feel like you do a good job of that.
Yeah, I get mad. Last night I had a 26 kill streak with Tracer. It was sick. But yeah, just you got to play it right. You can't try to go head to head with people, but just getting in, doing your damage, and getting out and recovering. Like if you just follow that rhythm, it is annoying to have to deal with a Tracer.
She's a nuisance, but I also feel like she's well balanced. Her health isn't all that high, and her ultimate isn't even really all that OP. Like you kill at best probably 2 people with her sticky bomb, and you got to be good to get 2 kills with it. So.
Yeah,
it's all about being a nuisance.
The best utility for that sticky bomb I found actually is just sticking it on an annoying Reinhardt. And then your team has to finish off the rest of the team. You can't do that as Tracer.
Yeah.
So she's she's more or less an assassin. You got to go. You're just taking out a target and then moving on.
Yeah.
So great for taking out healers. Great for taking out annoying shield people. But if anything stops you, like if the other team has a couple Torbjorns with those turrets that lock on super fast,
or Symmetra,
even someone who knows how to play Mei, like anything that will slow Tracer down is. It stops her.
My number 1 is Lucio. I love Lucio, and it's funny because Lucio is another one of those characters where I kind of wrote him off at the beginning of us playing because I was like, I don't know how he works, and I played one game with him and I was like, he kind of sucks. But then I gave him another shot, and I'm so glad I did because he is amazing, and he is such a great support character for a team that knows how to stay together. It's hard for me to use him when I'm by myself because I feel like I can't really if I'm playing with a bunch of random people, it's hard to get them to kind of coordinate. And when we play as friends, it's easy for us to coordinate. So I like him a lot for the same reasons Luke liked him. He's got good damage output. He has a lot of utility with the speed, especially for like capture points. You can get to the point way faster with him. And his sound barrier is clutch, like 90% of the time. If you're trying to cap a point and your whole team's about to die, you just drop that thing in and it doubles your health, and it's, I mean, amazing. So yeah, Lucio.
Amazing.
My number one is Farah. I enjoy super offensive characters, but I think the thing I like the most about Farah is she is very much a rhythm character. So like you've got your jump, and then you've got your jetpack that has a certain amount of fuel, and then it refuels like as you lay off of your jetpack, and it's all about popping out from behind cover and shooting a rocket, and you don't really want to get her kind of in the middle of all the mess because she goes down real easy, but she can stay kind of at an arm's length away, deal a whole lot of damage, and then with there being so many with it being entirely objective based and kind of point capture or payload centric, there's so many opportunities where people are congregated together to go in and kind of cause a lot of mess. And with the choke points and stuff, you can just fire it where you think somebody's going to come around a corner and deal a whole lot of damage. Most of the time, I'm in the gold or silver medal range as far as damage goes with Farah because that's just her specialty. So
Last night you had a game where you had 66 direct rocket hits.
yeah,
you had one right after that was 60.
yeah. So it's about anticipation, like because I just kind of give up on Tracer. I don't even try with Tracer because you have to shoot where you think they're going to be, not where they are. But really, everyone else, she's just such a good counter for. She does a whole lot of damage to Reinhardt's shield. The snipers, she can if you can find the perch, you can duck in and out and deal a whole lot of damage to them. Torbjorn's turrets, you can do a whole lot too. So she's kind of like a jack of all trades, even though she gets taken out real easy because she's low on health.
And that bomb she has that pushes people away,
yeah.
that like throwing people into chasms, or even just the simple breaking a team up that's running together really well.
Yeah.
Like you have people stacked behind Reinhardt, and she drops that thing in the middle. All right, let's mop them up.
Yep. So yeah, Farah is mine.
All right. Yeah, maybe that sparked some interest in you guys starting out playing Overwatch.
And if you're playing the game, like we've come across a lot of people that just want to run their one character, but like find a handful that you can use, because if you want to get good and win games, you've got to be able to have flexibility and be able to counter the other team.
And to kind of speak on that, you really got to know when to switch too, because sometimes you can just try to run a character into the ground, but in a game type, you're like, we just need this character, and sometimes you need to go full offense and not have a healer and just push a point back and then switch back to your healer to get stuff going again. It's not always about setup; it's about knowing when to switch out and do those things. So, yeah, Luke's topic.
All right, my topic is this the most important E3 to date? E3 is a week from today. Well, it starts next Sunday with Bethesda. Let me pause for a moment. I'm having a mild stroke. E3 starts on Sunday with Bethesda. They're doing their press conference. EA is also doing their separate press conference that isn't a part of E3. But and I think all that factors in. So basically, here's what this E3 is. Obviously, all the game announcements and stuff that we're going to be having. But we're also going to see probably PlayStation 4 unveiling the Neo and what that means. We're going to see Xbox unveiling their Slim console. This is the E3 that we're going to kind of get to see how Nintendo handles this transition from the Wii U, even though they're not going to reveal the NX. It's inevitable that it's coming. We already know it's coming. And it's also where we're going to get the most affordable and accessible VR. This is the E3 right before the launch of PlayStation VR. But it's also important for E3 because you have EA who's backing out, and you've had several other companies who say, well, we're not going to come get floor space and all that. So my question is this important from both the video game industry as a whole and for E3 as an event in and of itself? And so I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on whether or not this is the most important one. Even though there's not a new generation of consoles being revealed, it's just iterations of them being revealed.
I think it's moving. Everything I feel like is moving away from. Everything I feel like is moving away from a more hands-on, I guess you could say, view for these kind of conferences, and more towards a access at any time. You think about the change in I know this is going to sound really out of place, but I got a point to make through this. You think about the change in like television recently, where it used to be you have this point in time, you pick up your TV guide or whatever, and you got this point in time to see this show that you like to watch, and that is no longer the case with media consumption at the moment. You can find any show if you have the right service or the right software to get to it. You can find any show that you want at any point in time. And I feel like these game developers who are saying we're not going to get floor space at this E3 conference, or we're not going to be a part of what's happening here. That's the shift in the tide of not having consumers come in and have things hands-on anymore. You can just access it separately from being at this conference. You don't have to be. It's no longer a make or break thing for you to be at this one set place and time to announce your stuff or to give out what you're doing. They can access it anywhere. So I don't know that this is the most important E3. I think it's going to be a trendsetter for what happens to future developers, to where if they view this as a place to see what's new, what's about to come out, or if this is just going to fall off as one of the many areas that people can come to see the new things happening within the gaming community.
So you're saying that from a conference perspective, all that, and I think that's true. Like, we've kind of reached a critical mass with all of these conferences in general. I mean, because you've got, let's take aside everything that's broken off away from E3 and just talk about, you've got like E3, you've got PAX, you've got Gamescom, you've got Paris Games Week, you've got Tokyo Game Show, you've got all of these different fixed points in time where people can go. You've got the PlayStation experience, you've got GDC, you've got all of these different areas where it makes sense to make announcements. It makes sense to make big announcements. But with E3, like, there is something that's special about E3. Like, we don't do a PAX Prime prediction show. Yeah. And we don't do a GDC prediction show or whatever. We talk about those things and we react to things that happen at them. But E3 is an event that really, like, unifies gamers as a whole. Like, all gamers pay attention to, at least console gamers pay attention to what goes down at E3. All hardcore console gamers, I guess. I keep modifying the word. But, like, E3 really is the Super Bowl. Yeah. For people who are really into gaming, and it turns people's heads to go and to watch it, because and I was thinking about this earlier, just thinking about E3 and why I love it so much, because it's like, I don't get really all that excited about somebody who, like, a company who drops a trailer and, like, puts it out on YouTube, but really all E3 is a bunch of developers getting together and saying, let's string together a bunch of different trailers, reveal trailers, into 1 hour and a half long show and a bunch of different announcements. And for some reason, that just gets me super excited about it. And that's why I'll sit down on Sunday and watch Bethesda and EA, and on Monday we'll all get together and we're just going to watch everything and consume it all, because there's something different feeling about it, even if there's things like it out there, Yeah.
And I guess the point I'm trying to make is I think this is an important E3, because this is going to be the point in time, if this happens, this will be the point in time we look back and say, well, this is where E3 lost some of its grandeur, and that these other things are reaching a level at where we placed E3 before, which is no longer this big thing that we look to find all this awesome gaming news that we thought that it used to be. And I think just the drop off of a lot of different companies, the drop off of all these different developers can start that ball of poop to start rolling down the hill.
Right.
I personally don't think it's like, I don't see E3 as being on the line or things shifting that way. But I do think that it's the most important, just in terms of, there are so many things happening right now that could be major course changes in terms of what gaming looks like. VR on the table, iterative consoles, the Nintendo existing.
Yeah.
We all think that this is Nintendo's last shot to be a major player in the console genre, and we all think they're about to squander it. But there's just so many things that could shift this time around, and so it'll just be interesting to see all the directions things are going. So most important, not in terms of just what they. Well, yeah, in terms of what they're doing at E3, like showing us where they're planning to go. I don't like where a lot of things are going, and I don't know if it's just me wishing the coffee was still 45 cents or.
Yeah, this does feel like a whole lot of change that we as people who grew up gaming are not necessarily ready for. And I agree with you, Larry. Like, I don't think this is a make or break year for E3 as an event. Do I think it is losing its mind share to other kinds of events out there, like you were saying, Ben? Absolutely. Yeah. But I do think that, I mean, if we're still doing this show 3, 4, 5 years from now, we're always going to have a special episode where we do E3 predictions, you know, just because it's fun, it's an event, everybody's talking about it. But I do think to date, this is the most important because gaming in 365 days from this year's E3 could look so different. We could have a PS 4.5 and an Xbox 1.5 or some modular kind of Xbox that pops in and out. We could be
a PC gaming podcast because of how fed up we are with
were you hear that episode where we were basically,
he wasn't.
Yeah, we were basically just preparing ourselves to just start talking about Steam and GPUs and
seriously,
all that sort of stuff.
I can't afford to be I got a kid on the way, man. I can't afford to be a
well,
PC.
Well, our argument was that if consoles go iterative, we can't afford to buy a new console every 2 years either.
so think about it. Next year we could have those iterative consoles. The NX is going to have launched. We're going to have every single VR thing out on the table for us, and there's going to be I think Nintendo, the writing is going to be on the wall for Nintendo at that point, the writing on the wall, or it could come out and be a great success. I don't think any of us have any confidence in that. But at this time next year, the conversation really could be where's Nintendo in relevancy? And that's a conversation worth having right now, but it's going to be a conversation with a whole lot more weight behind it next year if the NX comes out and doesn't do well. But it's also very interesting because in 365 days, we could have an Xbox console that's more powerful than the most powerful PS4 console, if rumors hold to be true, which is saying that this new Xbox is more powerful than the Neo that's coming. And gaming can look so different in a year, way more different than any other year. Even year to year when we get new consoles, there's a stepping stone process to what it's going to look like. But the way that we think about the way that we purchase games and we purchase consoles and we think about console life cycles is going to be turned on its head this time next year. And I think E3 is really going to be the start of that ball rolling. Well, the rumors were the start of the ball rolling, but this is going to be the first tangible fixed point in time we can look and we can say E3 2016, that's where console gaming really changed. So, all right.
Cool.
That's it. Those are our topics for this week.
We got no more topics for you.
All right.
X is silent.
We're 50 minutes in, which is insane. I don't know how that happened.
I think my topic took a little longer than I thought it was going to take.
Well, no. Mine took a significant amount of time, too. It's not just your fault.
It's all good. It's nobody's fault. It's just a jam-packed episode. I didn't think we were going to have much news either.
Well, hey,
so
I'm on the show, so you always got to account for another 45 to 2 hours.
Of us it's mainly time of us trying to figure out what you're talking about.
And talking about Rhea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Rhea.
All right, let's move on to the
News with podcast. Yes.
All right, first item on the list. Luke was right again. Horizon Zero Dawn has been delayed to February 28th. This was over on Kotaku, but it was a blog post posted by managing director Herman Holst over for Guerrilla. It says, quote...
Now, hold on. I'm sorry. For our viewers' sake, Horizon Zero Dawn is the robot dinosaur game, but they're not dinosaurs.
But they are kind of robots, but they're not robots because they're mechs.
But they procreate.
And they've taken the world.
They are dinosaur shaped in a lot of ways.
Yes.
But they're mechs. But they procreate.
But when you look at them, don't look at what's there. Look at what's not there. Carbon matter is not there, so they aren't dinosaurs. We rest our case. So
have you seen
they delayed from what was supposed to be a 2016 release to now February 28th release date so that they could begin to remove things that make it look more like dinosaurs. That's the whole purpose. They're like, we don't like the dinosaur comparison. Let's take 2 months, rip it all out, replace it with brought to life garden gnome. So complete change of direction for the game.
I don't know if I like it.
The quote from Herman Holst over on Gorilla's blog is, quote, "It wasn't an easy choice to make. We know many of you have been anxious to play the game since we first announced it. However, we also want to ensure that Horizon Zero Dawn lives up to the visual and gameplay quality that our games are known for. The new date affords us the extra time required to deliver fully on our ambitious vision for Horizon Zero Dawn." So right now we have Dead Don't Ride and Gran Turismo Sport being the holiday exclusives coming out for the PlayStation 4. Does it matter? Absolutely not, because they haven't had a holiday exclusive this console generation, and they're stomping Xbox into the ground.
Right.
However, I did call that I feel like part of the motivation in moving No Man's Sky into the second half of the year was because Horizon was not going to be there in those next few weeks to compete, and that has turned out to be true. So, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Smart. You're very smart.
All right, next item on the list. PT-inspired horror game Allison Road has been canceled. On the official Allison Road Twitter page, the tweet says, quote, "Hi all. Sadly, Allison Road had to be canceled. Statement to come in the next few days. Thanks for all the support, and very sad it came to this," with the number 2, end quote.
How do you just... Go ahead.
I would like to point out that Allison Road came out when we were seeing all these Kickstarter horror things. So it was another horror game on Kickstarter, and it looked awesome. But now it has become another Kickstarter horror story.
Yes.
All these backers just...
Well, no. Let's be clear about what happened here.
Okay.
Because this is a misconception a lot of people had. So they started a Kickstarter, and about 20 days into their Kickstarter, they were approached by a publisher called Team 17 that said, "Hey, we want to publish this game for you. We're going to bankroll it." So they canceled their Kickstarter, so nobody was charged. So yeah, the game has no back. But dude,
my mistake.
Everybody has thought that though, because I mean, it was a very popular Kickstarter. So, but I wrote the article for this back when I was working for Gamespresso, I think, or I was working for somebody. When Team 17 took over, because they were like, well, this is going to give us the financial and creative freedom to make the game that we want to make, and now all of a sudden you can't make the game that you want to make. And so what people are asking is like, can we kickstart this game again? And it's like, why would you want to? If they couldn't handle the funds of a company that's trying to bankroll them to make a viable product, why do you want them to take your funds to try to make a viable product?
Yeah, before I speak to that, I will wait to see what their statement is, because maybe if it's like a situation where the people bankrolling had a different creative vision than the people trying to make the game, and there was a schism there, that's one thing. But I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
And I have a hard time with that, because Team 17's whole purpose is like, we want to create the space for these people to do things creative. We want to give them the money and then allow them to make. Like, they had already done what they needed to do to create and generate hype. But I think it was one of those things, like, they created that hype with the Kickstarter, then had to go into hiding for with Team 17. They wanted to increase the scope of the game for it, and I think it just got so big that it ended up collapsing in on itself. So, and again, that's all speculation, but like, strike while the iron's hot. You've got all this momentum. Create the game that you promised you were making. Don't worry about making it any grander. If this one's a success, you can make another one that's even bigger. But people were excited just about something PT inspired in a house, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, you don't need to make it any bigger than that. So
I don't understand why you put. I mean, maybe this is commonplace, and I just don't get it. But I don't understand why you send out a tweet without a statement. Like, what's the point in that?
Yeah, that was odd. That was odd.
I don't know. I mean, you're not gaining anything from doing that.
Nobody had a clue it was canceled until you said that. You could have held off a couple of days and just.
Yeah. That is weird. I didn't really think about that. Like, no one's really been we haven't talked about this game.
Right.
So
I'm sure there are people that are way more bummed than we are. I mean, I'm kind of bummed about this game being canceled, but there are people that are way more bummed and way more excited about the game that would have probably preferred to have a statement than, "Hey guys, we're canceled the game. Sorry."
Yeah.
So
hi all.
So a lot of people were devastated over the loss of PT, and this was kind of stepping in and easing some of that pain. And now it's gone. It's like my dog got hit by a car, and my mom bought me a new one, but she backed over it as soon as she introduced me to it.
Very morbid.
But she also came home and she's like, "Hey, Larry, I love you and everything, but I ran over your dog today."
Hi, son. It's actually more like, "Hi, son. Something happened to your dog. I'll let you know more in a couple days.
Mom, what happened? Mom.
My question to you guys is this whole concept of like the first person in-home horror, like hyper-realistic horror experience cursed by the ghost of Lisa?
Obviously. Do we even need to ask that question?
So maybe that's why they're not releasing a statement. Maybe the ghost is holding them hostage and saying, if you speak a word of this, I will kill you and your entire family.
Hopefully.
All right.
Because that's a great game.
It's called Real Life. All right, next item on the list. Watch Dogs 2 has been confirmed for an E3 reveal. So Ubisoft has officially confirmed that Watch Dogs 2 is going to be making its debut at E3 2016. In an email detailing its plans for the event, Ubisoft said, quote, that it will present highly anticipated titles such as Watch Dogs 2, For Honor, and Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. And it's also promised to unveil some surprises. So, confirming what we already knew.
There will be surprises.
Ben, I would like to confirm that your wife is pregnant.
Thank you.
Very pregnant.
She's
like
very
8.5 months pregnant.
Like, we'll probably have the baby within a week or two.
Very pregnant. But I would like to confirm that she is to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't say I'm excited about it though. Like,
Whoa!
Not
Oh.
Watch Dogs 2.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't because I didn't really like the first game, but maybe I'm a spec in a sea of unspecs.
It's a whole new protagonist. Maybe you'll like him better.
Possibly.
I am hoping for the leap between Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2 because I like the concept of it, didn't like the execution of it.
That's a very good point. That would be excellent. Isn't this guy supposed to be more family friendly though?
I don't know.
We just saw a picture that we
Happier,
were assuming.
nicer?
We just saw a picture and we were drawing assumptions off of him. He's a typical San Francisco guy. You're just hacking Uber to get free rides across the city, and you're like, how am I going to pay for my $3,500 in apartment rent for this 250 square foot flat that I've got?
How does one hack Uber?
Self-driving cars, Google, Amazon.com, Bing, Xbox, Cortana, technology words.
I like this image of a real happy, like, down with the government, guys.
Guys, happy Anarchy Day. I baked a cake.
Oh, it's Arbor Day? Oh.
Guess what I brought? Molotovs!
All right, next item on the list. Fallout 4 mods launched last week on Xbox One to great success. Quote, this is from the developers at Bethesda, quote, Xbox traffic was 50 times the initial Fallout 4 PC mod launch, end quote. So
it's a lot of times.
I'm really excited. I haven't played Fallout in a long time, but I was pumped about when I found out mods were coming to the console. So I need to probably get on and play.
Yeah, it is really interesting that I feel like more people came back for mods than came back for the large DLC of Far Harbor. Yep. So, is this the beginning of mods on console for multiple games?
I hope so.
Many games.
This is awesome. Like, especially games like this where like obviously if you mod in a multiplayer game, you're a jerk and deserve all the horrible things in the world. But in these single player games, like mods just create so much replayability in so many weird situations. People come up with weird stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like dropping 100,000 cheese rolls down a mountain.
Some things are a little too weird though.
We won't talk about that.
Like I'm naked and my hands are my feet and my feet are my hands and my head is a goat's.
Yes.
And I got the Rhea. No, I'm with you though, Larry. I think it's I see no point why single player games can't be like an across the board kind of thing to just allow this to happen. I mean, I understand there are some kind of logistical issues with the certain types of mods that happen, and you don't want just
game breaking or license
like
infringing or
nudity. Single player things that you can't share. I mean, share other than like social networking video clips or stuff like that. I don't know that there's really an issue with that. I mean, the multiplayer thing, wrong. But everything, I mean, single player.
And I remember seeing mods. People did crazy stuff to make the graphics in Skyrim like insane.
Or turn your guy into Goku.
Or turn the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes.
Terrifying. All right. Next item on the list. Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 will release within 3 weeks of each other. This is from, I believe it was Eddie over at GameSpot. So speaking today at the Bank of America Merrill Lynch 2016 Global Technology Conference, EA CFO Blake Jorgensen said Titanfall 2 will come out around 3 weeks from when Battlefield 1 debuts, though he didn't say if it would be before or after, according to DualShockers. So, we talked about this a little bit last week, but now we have EA competing against itself within very close proximity of one another. Do we feel like the mind share is there between these two games? Is there a diverse enough audience between the two? Is the Venn diagram lacking in overlap enough for these two games to be successful that close to one another?
I think the retro revert of Battlefield 1 back to the olden days of war and whatnot maybe adds a little bit more of a gap between Titanfall, because the Titanfall is hyper futuristic. I mean, so I think that may open the gap up a little bit, but I don't understand why you release two games that you're hoping sell well 3 weeks apart. Maybe they're just reeling off the heels of Titanfall 1 not doing great.
Because if this is 3 weeks after Battlefield 1, that's going to be what? 1 week after Call of Duty Infinite Warfare?
Titanfall did well, didn't it?
Yeah, it released in March also.
Yeah, well, I was just addressing Titanfall not going great.
I was basing off of how cheap it got.
It didn't do well in the grand scheme of things because it was on a console that only had like 8 million units sold at the time of its launch.
Gotcha.
So, just in that regard, probably less than 8 million. That's an overestimation probably. But yeah,
I love the game, though.
It's a great game.
Titanfall was awesome.
But I don't think it sold as well as they wanted it to sell.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Go
ahead.
I don't think these things overlap too much, and I disagreed with you a couple weeks ago on this very point, and I continue to do so. It's not the smartest thing in the world, but I don't think it's going to kill either game either.
Yeah, I don't. Kill would be an overstatement. Encroach upon what could be the success of one another. Like, why not just keep Titanfall in March? Like, what's the matter? Like,
you're right.
March is a great time. It's tax time. It's the second Christmas.
Yes.
It's grown-up Christmas.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy stuff for kids.
Yes.
You buy it for you.
Yeah. So.
Kids don't know it's tax day. I didn't know what tax day was till I was in college. I was like, whoa, Mom and Dad were holding out.
Why is so much crippling depression setting in on me right now as I realize just how much money Uncle Sam has taken from me this year?
Or I owe now.
All right. What if next year we just say we're not paying taxes? All right. As a whole entire country, we just say
we would go to jail.
We're not. They can't put us all in jail.
We just start throwing tea in the harbor, and
that's right. You aren't my representative. All right. Next item on the list. I love this. So EA was concerned about setting Battlefield 1 during World War I because they thought some kids might not know about it, and by that they mean World War I. So this is from over on GameSpot as well. It says, speaking at the Bank of America Merrill Lynch 2016 Global Technology Conference, Jorgensen said there was, quote, some debate, end quote, inside of EA about Battlefield 1's setting. Quote, World War I. We were worried that many of the younger consumers out there didn't know that there was a World War II or Vietnam, so World War I. End quote. One of the reasons why Soderlund originally rejected DICE's Battlefield 1 pitch was because he thought trench warfare couldn't be fun. But World War I offered much more than that, and once developers presented these ideas to EA, the project got the green light. Seriously, what the heck is wrong with you, America, that there are children that, first of all, that there are children old enough to purchase this game that we are terrified will not know that World War I happened.
I have a story to share.
All right, here we go.
2 weeks ago, or 1 week ago, it's been a busy couple weeks, I don't know. My sister-in-law came to stay with me, who is 24 years old, or somewhere in the neighborhood, I don't know. And it was the week that Obama gave his speech in Hiroshima.
Gosh, here we go.
And Jess and I were talking about that because many Americans felt that he was too apologetic. And we were just talking about the issue, and she seemed very confused, and I said, well, you know what happened in Hiroshima, right? And she said, no. And I said, the atomic bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki? No. This is someone who consistently got good grades all the way through middle and high school and college.
Yep.
And I got like ranty, and then I had to be like, all right, well, I'm not mad at you, The public school system has utterly failed you as a person.
I am
though.
also a little mad at you. Literally turn on the History Channel.
And watch
make it
what?
through-
Monster
make it
Hunters?
through Ice Road Truckers. All right? Turn on History Channel 2. All right? Maybe just walk through a bookstore. Like, you don't even have to pick up a book. Just walk through a bookstore, and you will know there's probably an entire shelf labeled World War II. And then automatically you will have to assume, wait, there was a first one of these as well? And then you can hop on your phone, this great hub of information that we can use, bypass your Snapchats, and say, maybe I'll Google what the World War I is. That sounds pretty important. The whole world was at war? I weep for you, America, openly. And
If you don't know about these things, it's not that hard to go learn. Just you have access to everything, every shred of information. Just I say this as a gaming podcaster, stop gaming for an hour a day and read some history.
Here's the thing, though.
Here's the thing. I did not know World War I happened.
Do we want them to stop gaming? Because this beautiful game, Battlefield 1, is about to instruct everyone on what World War I was. It's like a history lesson in a video game. Here lies why the importance of video games.
Okay.
In a world where
In a world.
children and young people can't consume any form of media other than TV or video games or Snapchat. We are
Snapchat.
we are forced to place these historical lessons and these nuggets of information within the media they consume. And what better than a video game that can teach them about one of the greatest wars of all time?
Disregard everything he just said and read a freaking book. Read an article. Read a sentence. Learn to read.
And as I get older, the weight of the words, those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it, just hits me more and more. Like,
What if in 50 years there's another World War and they name it World War I because no one was aware?
No one remembers.
but just like the amount of people that don't know things that happened or why they happened, and it's just troubling. And even watching last year, all the controversy over the Confederate flag and all that. Not the flag, like I get that, but the wanting to tear down memorials and erase people from history because they were not good people in every way. Like, where do you draw the line on that? Like, do you want to forget entirely like people that did horrible things? And that seems dangerous.
I wouldn't want to build a monument to them.
Right. Well, where do you draw the line? Do you go through Confederate graveyards and kick over all the tombstones? That's what I'm talking about with memorials and such.
I'm just saying I don't want it in front of the building where the laws are going to be made.
I get that.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want it in the center of my town square that's supposed to define the culture of my community. Like, that's where I draw. Like, you want your headstone and why the guy died. Like, fine, have at it. I don't want the names removed from the history books either. But
Yeah.
I don't want my lawmakers walking into work every day and being like, "Oh my gosh, Stonewall Jackson, my hero. Let's go put slavery back on the books again, ladies and gentlemen." You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where my line is drawn. How did we get here?
The Reeds.
History.
Yeah.
I don't know. No
Verbal
history.
Rita.
Yeah, there no history.
Yeah.
It's good history.
Right. I hate you. But I also thought this was really interesting because they know this game's going to get an M rating. Like, they're perfectly aware of it, but they also understand the business of the fact that the M rating means jack squat when it comes to who's going to buy these games, and they're thinking about 12-year-olds who are like, World War I? Vietnam? I've never heard of such things, you know? Like, they're perfectly aware of the demographic of people that are going to purchase these games, and they don't care. The fact that I can lose my job over selling an M-rated game, yet Blake Jorgensen could be like, "Hey, we're going to sell this game to all kinds of kids with this M rating, but we just don't know if they have any idea what a sword is." like it's a little interesting glimpse into the minds of CEOs and businessmen over at the EAs. So, all right. Anything else? That was the wrap up. That was the news.
That was the news for the podcast, guys.
All right, now we move on to everybody's favorite segment, the random question of the week.
Random question of the week for the month for this week. Take it away, Larry.
It's your random question.
Yesterday, I ate a lot of pizza.
Yes.
I love pizza.
Me too.
Describe your perfect pizza.
You've had a lot of food-oriented questions here.
I like it.
I eat a lot.
First of all, the best pizza is a pizza that's brought to me, all right?
Free pizza is the best.
Well,
pizza.
free pizza is the best pizza. But a pizza that is brought to me is the best pizza. So delivery.
Okay.
Like, we went and picked up a pizza the other day from Pizza Hut, and I don't think there was anything, like, different about it in terms of its chemical makeup. But it just didn't taste as good because I had to go get it. Even though you could also think of it as I didn't have to pay an extra $5 to get it delivered to me, but I had to get up and put pants on and go get pizza.
You gotta pay extra $5 to get it delivered?
There's a delivery charge. I don't know how much it is, but it's a few bucks.
Man, that sucks.
And then you tip the driver if you're not a
I don't do that.
complete.
Look, don't tip people for things that you can do yourself, all right? Look, I could have driven there and got it.
I can crush my own kidney stones.
I do. I do, however, tip my urologist. It's from the office. So anyway, a pizza that is delivered to me. And then I just want all the meats on there. I want there to be some ham. I want there to be some sausage. That's sausage. Saucisson is how you would say it in French. I want some pepperoni on there and some bacon. Stuffed crust, if you will. Heavy on the sauce, light on the cheese. That's how I like it because I have a little bit. I don't want to get the Rhea, and my lactose
Cheese
intolerance.
does the opposite of the Rhea, doesn't it? Cheese kind of
Not if
gums
you're
you up.
lactose intolerant.
Yeah, that makes you just run like a faucet.
Woo!
We are my favorite type of pizza.
I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, I also want a little bit of like butter and garlic on the sauce. I mean on the crust. So.
I have a very. I mean, mine's. You can get mine anywhere. If you live in our area, you can get my favorite kind of pizza. It's from Jerry's. It is it's a bacon ranch pizza. Is kind of what it's called. Instead of tomatoes, I'm not a big.
Kind of what it's called.
This doesn't really have a name. We just made it up one day, and every time we go there, Tony, the guy who owns Jerry's, makes one for my dad.
Jerry's is owned by Tony.
Yeah, Jerry is his son.
So Tony's Jerry's restaurant. The Jerry's restaurant belonging to Tony.
Hey,
Yes.
Larry.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
But
Hey,
but,
Luke, die in a fire.
But they made this for us one time because I'm not a big tomato fan. I mean I like tomato sauces. But if I could choose, I wouldn't eat a tomato sauce. So I would have to argue against the sauciness of a pizza. I would much rather it be bread and cheese oriented than the sauciness. But this cheese, the sauce is not a tomato sauce. It's a ranch. It's just ranch. It's like a Alfredo ranch kind of deal. It's got cheese on it. It's all bubbly and good. There's a little bit of ham in there and a little bit of bacon. And the crust is real nice and tender and crunchy at the same time. And it's a very good thing. I just take 2 or 3 slices, sandwich them together like a cannoli, and just eat it up.
Like a cannoli is like a flaky pastry with cream jammed into the center of it, right?
Yes, just like a cannoli.
Okay, Larry, on to you.
So about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, Pizza Hut like revamped their menu and added all these extra crusts and stuff, and it was glorious. They've kind of pared down their selections at this point, which is kind of sad. But so I can't even get my favorite ever again. But here is the perfect pizza. It is pan crust. Pizza Hut's pan crust is just the perfect texture, I believe. It has pepperoni and pineapple on it. I love it.
My wife loves that.
You get the crushed tomato sauce, not the regular sauce, because the crushed tomato sauce is sweeter. And in addition to that, here's what you can't get anymore: the honey sriracha drizzle.
You can't?
Nope.
I thought you could.
It's gone now.
I got it the other day.
Maybe this is just another example of how Chatham, Virginia has the worst restaurants in the history of mankind.
Pizza Hut app.
Except for you, Chattanooga. You're awesome. But you close at 3. I can't eat dinner at 3.
What's that place? The Mexican place we went to. That place is pretty good.
El Cazador, but I hate Mexican food.
Oh yeah.
Except
That'd be a
Taco
deal
Bell.
breaker.
Which is fake Mexican food.
Oh, the Chinese place is also very good.
Lotus.
Lotus
They're
is
closed
very
till
good.
they're open again.
Are
They were renovating.
remodeling? Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh.
I love that guy. His name is Ben, and
Reminds me of me.
he remembers my order and remembers that I like it extra spicy. We've digressed.
With soda on
So
the side.
pizza, pan crust, pepperoni and pineapple, the sweet crushed tomato sauce, the honey sriracha drizzle, which adds more sweetness and plenty of heat, and then you finish it off with the crushed red pepper crust, which adds even more heat.
Mm.
And I love it.
Hey, we done lied to you, man. We done lied to you.
They don't have
Yeah.
it anymore?
They don't have it. I thought what did we get? Oh
They got the
no!
barbecue
See, we like the fiery red pepper. That's what it is.
That's
It's
the crust.
different. Wait, what are you looking at? The sauce? The drizzle?
Yeah, they used to drizzle it.
Oh no, it's balsamic barbecue buffalo and no sauce drizzle. I've never tried the no sauce drizzle. No sauce.
I think that's how we normally get ours. What's balsamic?
It's like I can just read it for you. It's a slightly sweet reduction of Modena, Italy balsamic vinegar, aged in oak and chestnut casks.
I'm sure they
Really?
actually do all that stuff. They don't do that.
I mean, I think they have to if they say it.
Well, man, we went over there to the Kroger's and we got ourselves some balsamic.
Balsamic vinegar. We just put it on there. Just got it real nice and flavored. It was good.
I want
So,
to try this salted pretzel crust.
Cheese on
so,
it. Mm.
so, dear listeners, demand they bring back the honey sriracha drizzle. Next year, when we cast our tea into the harbor and refuse to pay our taxes, we will also demand that all Pizza Huts bring back the honey sriracha drizzle.
Look, we are saying this as a joke, but I'm not paying taxes next year, all right? Come after me.
Look, if Donald Trump doesn't have to pay taxes,
If
Yeah.
the
point.
president of the United States doesn't have to pay taxes, why should I?
Oh, why should I?
This one time I was talking to my grandma.
To the country no more.
I was talking to my grandma and I was talking about taxes, and she was like, "Taxes? I haven't paid those in years." I was like, "You're crazy, grandma." Yeah, but she was just living off Social Security. And you don't pay taxes on that.
You can't pay taxes on Social Security. That's government money, anyways.
there was a great episode of Sleepy Hollow. I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but where Ichabod Crane, long story short, in the show, Ichabod Crane was frozen in history, and then he comes back in modern times, and he wears his Civil War era clothes around. Revolutionary era war clothes. Excuse me. I'm sounding like one of
look
those
at
kids.
me! I went on just a huge rant about how no one knows anything about
No
history.
history, Larry. Come on, seriously. One
Why
if by
don't you-
land,
Why don't you
Larry.
walk through a Barnes and Noble, Larry?
Two if by sea, Larry.
That's a George
How
Washington
would they
quote.
come by land? That's what. Here's what I don't understand.
Walking
with that.
mainly.
Yeah, walking, but you can't walk across the
No,
ocean.
no. It's saying if I haven't seen them by the time if I see them and they're on land, they're closer. You should probably hightail it. I didn't catch them when they were out at sea.
Okay. I just always wondered. Paul Revere's supposed to be watching this stuff.
Anyway.
How would they ever come by land? You can't walk across the ocean.
Tell that to Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, they're not Jesus. They're British.
I mean, that's true. I don't know why it was funny. It's true. It's true. Jesus wasn't a British man. He was very Middle Eastern.
Ewan McGregor is playing Jesus in an upcoming film. He's almost British.
He's wishing everybody blessings on the Facebooks, and if you don't share his picture, you're going to burn in hell eternally. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
If you deny me before men,
Yep.
and Ewan McGregor's like, you can deny me if you want to, but sharing the picture helps the movie, I guess. So go for it.
Anyway, we were talking about something.
You were talking about
Oh, taxes.
Crane.
Ichabod Crane. He sees how much tax is on a food item, and he's like spitting his tea out and being like, we fought a war for way less than this. And I'm like, you're right, Ichabod. I don't know why that was his voice. He's very British in the show.
Did he spit it into water? Like into the harbor?
You ever wonder why you can't like Boston Harbor's so murky because of all the tea? Like it's still just lingered around.
Have you ever wondered why you can't walk naked through a park at 11 a.m.?
No, it seems pretty self-explanatory. And I mean, technically you can.
You just can't do it again.
Look, Look,
Challenge accepted.
we fought a war over less government oversight. All right. Back in George Washington's America, his dream for America, you could walk nude wherever.
Teddy Roosevelt used to bathe nude in the Potomac right behind the White House every morning.
You checking out some non-metaphorical cantaloupes at the grocery store? Completely nude, well within your right. And when the sticker says 99 cents, I don't pay a penny more.
If Obama bathed nude in the Potomac, imagine what the Republicans would have to say today.
Old GW like to ride across the Delaware nude.
Our boy GW with his wooden teeth, man.
Just clattering from how cold it was in that new Delaware ride.
Yeah, he's like, it's the day after. Was it Christmas Eve or the day after Christmas?
I think that. I think Christmas Eve.
Why don't you read a book, Luke? Why don't you walk through a freaking Barnes and Noble, man?
Because they were banking on the Redcoats being wasted.
That's right. That's right. And lo and behold, they're always wasted.
And then as you walk through the grocery store nude, seeing your cantaloupes that you wish to purchase.
Seriously.
Why else would
You
you
get
wear a
the
waistcoat if you're not wasted?
Seriously, I would like to think that George Washington rolls over in his grave every time I feel obligated to put pants on.
You should be wearing pantaloons.
When I'm like, I'm going to work, guys. I got to put pants on. George Washington's like, this is not the freedom I envisioned.
You get the Rhea, you skate across the store, you drop a couple melons, it's all good.
There's a baby outside the window.
Show me in the Constitution where it gives the federal government the right to tell me to put pants on.
That's right.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
Yes, sir. You are. You are being temporarily detained. You are being pulled over. That is a detention. I am a sovereign member of this state, dude. I love watching those videos. Those videos are so awesome
angry.
because the people are just so ridiculous. The guy's like, I don't need license plates to drive on these publicly funded roads.
I only have to roll my window down 1/5 of an inch. Sir, I have to be able to get your wallet.
There was a guy that did one of those. That he was poaching, and he said, "I'm a natural born citizen of the world, and when I'm hungry, I have the right to find food." And I was like, "Not in a protected environment, you don't."
But in George Washington's America, I'm allowed to stroll onto this thing stark naked with my butt in the wind, all right? And I'm allowed to slit the throat of whatever buffalo I want, all right?
Just rocket-propelled Rhea just carrying me through the forest.
I'm going to be honest. This podcast has been over for like 20 minutes.
All right, let's go around the circle.
I'm Larry. You can find me on Twitter at LairHuntsZombies, LARHUNTS Zombies.
I'm Ben. You can find me in the bathroom with the Rhea.
You want our listeners to come find you in the bathroom while you're having Rhea.
You can find me on Twitter at Noture Hankins or on Xbox Live at WhoBombTradey, 3 words, and PSN WhoBombTradey, 1 word.
My name's Luke. You can find me strolling nude through a local park at an hour where the police will not be around. And hopefully no one else. I don't want people to see me. I'm not like an exhibitionist. I just want to know that I live in a country
that I can do those types of things.
Seriously. I want my right to nudity protected. All right? So come find me. 2 a.m. at this park. Half a mile away from my house. I'll be strolling through naked, all right? I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to be doing, all right?
I don't want people to come see me, but come find me, please.
Yes, you are.
Come find me, but don't look at me, all right? Because I have a right to my privacy, all right? I live in a country where I have a right to privacy strolling nude through a public park at 2 o'clock.
This has been Player 3 Podcast.
Player 3 Podcast.
Player 3 Podcast!
P3P.
I don't even know what to say anymore.
Oh, gosh, the mouse isn't working. This is all going to be on YouTube.